Rune, you wake up in the morning, smell of bacon in the air. You hear a little bit of a commotion outside, people talking, coming in from morning chow.
I guess I'll walk out to the dining area.
You walk out. You see some of the common folk sitting down for the morning chow. See a couple of dwarves at the center. They both look like they're part of the Miners Guild. They look a little bit dirty, probably getting off of their shift. You see Millie at a table, and to no surprise, you do see Anita in her usual spot, starting early this morning. You do not, however, see any of your companions yet.
I'll walk past, look over to Anita. I guess Breck isn't monopolizing your time this morning.
She kind of like looks at you and smiles and just kind of like gives you a knowing nod. You do notice, though, that her clothes are looking a little bit nicer than normal. Not that she's ever like really looked raggedy, because she was always more of a, I guess you could say, an upper class escort, but she looks a little bit nicer dressed today. Apparently all of Breck's money is paying off.
Rhea will take note of that. How much has Breck paid you so far?
She just kind of looks at you and she says, not that much. He needs a raise. And she smiles at you.
Rhea just shakes his head.
At last count, I remember you giving him 10 gold. So at least 10 gold.
And this is exactly why I limit his salary. Spent it on hookers.
So she's just kind of just smiling after she says that. You catch Millie's attention as you're walking by. You see Redbeard cleaning off the counter.
I'll tell you look at what these miners are having.
Okay.
They drinking ale this early in the morning?
At the moment, they have nothing in front of them, and that's probably the reason for their agitated looks on their faces. It looks like they either just walked in or Millie is running a little behind, or perhaps the kitchen.
What are you gentlemen getting? It's on me.
You see the dwarf on the left. He gives a good smile and says, "Oh, welcome. Well, have a seat, And he like scoots over for you. As you sit down, Millie starts to walk over to you. And that is when, Rikimaru, you wake up in the morning to the same smell. Food cooking in the air. Unlock your door. I had you locked in your room.
No, anything but that. Oh, well,
Trapped forever.
you have to follow the delicious scent of bacon. There's nothing better.
You wake up, start to get out of your bed. If you...
Oh, yeah, you got a nice little smoke effect going.
So you walk out of the room, you see the hall. You could definitely smell the odor of bacon coming from the north.
Let's go investigate.
Okay. You start walking past some of the rooms. You come into the main lobby area where you see all the patrons sitting. Rune, that is when you see Rikimaru, a face from your past, walking out, following the delicious smell of bacon. You both can roll awareness. See who notices who, if any. Okay, so Ryu, you notice Rikimaru walking out, but he does not recognize you.
Well, hold on. I didn't roll anything at all. Did I mess this up?
Says you rolled it twice? Let me take a look at the details here. Oh, hold on. Something is wrong with your character. Try rolling it again. You should have a 1. Oh, hold on. I see the issue.
Total says 0 still.
Yes, your awareness modifier is a -1, which is why.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm completely oblivious to the world around me.
Right?
Smells like bacon.
Smells like bacon, tastes like chicken.
That's dangerous.
So yeah, you see Rikimaru walking out.
Rhea will take note of this. A little surprised. he'll call out, "Is that Ricky I see over there?"
Who said my name?
You hear your name being called out.
Is the bacon talking to me?
Yes, it is I, the bacon.
Perhaps I nipped the bottle a little too hard last night.
Ryu will stand up and wave you over.
After a few minutes of confusingly look around the room, I notice you waving to me. Oh, long time no see.
I like to view that Ricky's walking up and Ryu's walking up, and it's like the scene in Predator with Arnold and Carl.
Oh, right. This is...
I don't know if I'm that ripped.
Well, you got a 7. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I would say a 7's above average.
In your notes will be the shop's inventory.
For me?
Yeah, for let me make sure I get observer. Okay. There. It should be visible.
Ah, yes. The classic chicken that smells of bacon.
So yeah, she's like, "Oh, what can I get you guys?"
Ryu will motion for Ricky to sit. Don't worry, breakfast is on me this morning.
Well, I won't say no to free food. I'll have to pay you back sometime, though.
Ryu will get a chicken, some bread, some fruit.
For the fruit, got a 4. She actually has some oranges for fruit.
We'll take an orange.
Huh?
An orange.
And she looks over to you, Ricky, and she goes, "In for you."
I'll take everything he has. That sounds good. Haven't had an orange in a while.
Is going to run 1 silver, 7 copper.
I will hand her the money.
You hand her off the money.
She says, "Where's my money, Ryu?"
Oh yes, I think Ryu is like one of the richest people in town at the moment. Cough, cough, it didn't hear from me.
Can I access Ryu's inventory?
Right? It's like, yes, you can look at each other's inventory all you guys want. She takes payment and she like goes over and places your order.
And that was including the dwarves, too.
No, for the dwarves, they're just getting some ales, so their ales are going to be 4 copper pieces for total.
All right. We'll cover it, too.
Okay. She comes back quickly with the drinks, your fruit. Only thing that takes a little bit is the bread and the chicken. She passes out all the drinks. You actually notice that the town crier is kind of like taking note of your hospitality. Is this gentleman over here?
Of course.
So he's like taking notice of all the money that you're spending on drinks for everybody.
Ryu will just go, just a round on me. How about that? For everybody.
Oh, for him?
For everybody in here.
Oh, for everybody. It is 2 copper pieces per drink.
So it'd be 16 more. No, 18 if you count Anita. I'm not counting Anita, though.
Well, as generous as ever, I see.
I have plenty to give for now.
Speaking of generous, Rikimaru, you have, I believe, if I didn't already put it on your character sheet, which it looks like I did not, in your inventory, you have 60 gold pieces. Just in case you decide to go shopping for anything in town today. You see one of the dwarfs look over at you, Ryu, and he says, "And how to define what line of work are you in to have such wealth?" As everybody is in the tavern is cheering for you. Except for Anita.
Anita gets enough of my money from Breck.
Right.
Ryu will just simply answer, "Oh, considered mercenary."
Mercenary, they both kind of almost say at the same time. And that is when you see another female walking into the main room. She comes over and takes a seat next to the dwarf.
Good morning, Cleo.
She's kind of like stretching a little bit, even though no time has passed since yesterday, game time wise. She's healed from the wounds she's occurred from carpentry.
I see you're looking fit as a fiddle.
She nods and she's like, "I'm learning a lot from the dwarves in town." You see the dwarf miner that's next to her like smile, like, yeah. Wait, I didn't teach you nothing.
That's good.
She says, are we still leaving tomorrow?
That's the plan.
What was your allure, Rikimaru?
He is a 24.
24. A 24. Let me take a look here. She is a wood elf. She has red hair. I believe she is about 5 foot tall, really thin. And she just kind of like looks over at you. She has like a little scarf around her neck. So yeah, she has like a green scarf on. For Rikimaru, you would know that normally, being that the weather is ugly, you just pass it off as she's a little cold. And she's just kind of looking over there, and she looks at you, Ryu, looks back at him. Like, who's that? Who's that? Seeing that you guys are off to the same side, she doesn't recognize him.
Good morning, miss.
She kind of smiles and she goes, just nods.
Cleo, this is an old friend of mine, Rikimaru. He used to visit my village and sell wares.
She's, oh, so you're a merchant.
I wish I could say I was in such a grand line of work as being a merchant any longer. Everything that's gone on in the eastern part of the wilds, things haven't been going so well for our family.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Most of them are here in town currently trying to peddle what remaining mining materials and equipment we have left. I'm not really sure what we intend on doing. Everything that the Black Horse Company was working on is kind of in shambles currently.
You guys hear the front door open up fairly loudly as you see Breck starting to walk in. And he comes and sits down next to Clea. He kind of sits down and he just kind of like nods to her and then looks to you, Ryu. And he says, I think I know what's going on tonight. And he looks around and makes you see who's looking.
What's that?
An old associate of mine looks around again, overly dramatic. And then you see he kind of like stops and looks at Anita. And he's shakes his head. He's all, a former associate of mine from my past life is in town. He goes by the name of Lavar. I just seen him at market. If he's here, something is going to happen.
Well, perhaps we can keep eyes on him.
You see the food coming in now. You see Breck like, all right. And then he like gets a little let down and seeing that he doesn't get nothing. Like, Millie, what happened? He goes, oh, can I get you something? He looks a little deflated.
You aren't here when we ordered.
You see Clea rubbing it in as she gets something she ordered. Takes a little bite and just looks at him. Brick is just like, I'll have that. And he just points to like a random thing on the table. Millie takes note and walks off.
What do you think your old associate might be doing?
He says that LeVar was normally in charge of kidnapping, doing raids on the highway, or on the road, rather. On the road, and then holding people ransom. That kind of clicks something that Ryu had heard from the message board, how people were going missing, both from robed figures as well as bandits.
Well, that sounds serious, I'll say. Mouthful of food.
He just nods and he says, maybe this is tied in with what Tween is looking for.
Well, we do have one night left here. We could look into that. Where this individual will meet somebody else here.
And he says that I didn't, as soon as I saw him, I just made a beeline for here. I didn't want him to recognize me as a former employee. He smiles when he says that, thinking he's slick, trying to change the wording.
Right.
He's all, maybe we can get Megara to tail him. Or even you, Clea. Clea, like, almost chokes on her food.
Well, Ricky, you up for an adventure?
Oh, I don't have anything to do for the next couple of days. I don't see why not.
Perhaps we could tail him.
Oh, well, silence and charisma have never really been my strong suit, but I'll try my best.
It's a populated enough place.
Breck tells you that he last saw him in the market area. He gives you a description of him. He is a half-elf. He's about 5'5". Currently, he's walking around town with some leather armor on. And he's with at least one other bandit, of which Breck doesn't know of.
Got it.
He's got medium hair, brownish. It's in a wood elf style where it's like almost like a mohawk, or better yet, almost like a mullet. So you can't really miss him.
He's rocking that 80s grunge look.
Yeah.
Well, hang tight. We'll go check it out. We will finish his breakfast and then get up from the table.
Okay. You chow down your meal. You guys both eat. Clea just kind of like looks at you guys and says, well, be safe.
Oh, I'm sure if I could survive the orc woods, I can deal with the pair of bandits.
She
I
kind
have
of just
no idea what that is, but okay.
You might have, well, since you came from the Eastern Wilds, Rikimaru, you might have heard of it. Through passing, there was like a large forest on your way between Vanegroth, which you guys bypassed, and Mildren. There's a huge forest. You did catch the name of it, and it was Thicket Woods.
Ah,
So you do know the general location. Just in passing, though. Walk out, you see that the air outside is fairly chilly. You do foresee rain in the near future. And as you walk out,
For us and them.
as you walk out, you do see some people near the well, which is off to the western side of town. But you do catch the glimpse of the large 2-story wagon out front of the Oasis.
Do I also spy a fugitive hiding in there?
What fugitive? Oh, not yet. so yeah,
is this that wagon we're passing by?
yes, a very large 2-story wagon house, a medieval
That's an
trailer.
impressive piece of workmanship.
Yeah, you see like no one's outside in front of the wagon as you guys are making your way towards market.
Know anything about that, Ryu?
Yes, I spoke with the owner of the loot and stuff the other night. Went to this noble party and they were performing there.
Interesting.
I gave them a bunch of letters to give to other high elves should they run across any.
Yeah, so that's the leather shop. You got the weapon shop across the way with the sword and shield icon. The little remedy has a little pill for an icon. So in market, as you enter, you see that it is fairly empty so far. People just starting to open up their stalls. You see some of the farmers that you ran into during your time in the farm area starting to set up shop, opening up their stalls, pulling out their produce. You even smell the forge from the blacksmith starting to fire up. A perfect time for you, Rikimaru, if you want to do any shopping anywhere.